It's my original team here with me today, guys. Let's get started. We're gonna open straight away into a wide second position. So the toes are turned out and we're wider than our shoulders. You can take your hands on your hips or bring them into a W position. And we're gonna lower into a plie on an exhale. So the knees soften and align with the big toe, second toe over your foot island. Inhale as we narrow to come back up to standing. Exhale as you lower. Now the arms can extend as the legs extend as well. So we're just getting our bodies warmed up and used to the movement. And we're gonna add a little plyometrics to this next. On this next one, we're gonna reach and that right leg comes long, but the toe still stays in touch with the floor. Exhale, come through the center for a plie. Other side, the big toe is still in touch with the floor. So you can stay there, keeping the toe in touch with the floor. But you can feel that weight shift happening as we lengthen to one side, but it's not about a side kick. Now, if you wanna add a little oomph to it, you can take the foot off the floor and we're just gonna hover the toe. It's not a kick to the side, it's an extension of the leg, opening the hip and really engaging the kneecap all the way up into the quadriceps. If that's not great for your balance, just keep the big toe connected to the floor. If the arms start to feel aggressive, you can simply just bring them back to your hips and keep working through the range of movement in the legs, knees, and hips. The core is controlling the pelvis, staying steady, and it's also helping to lift us on the inhale as we reach, exhale as we land, foot rolling down and foot rolling up. So we're not landing with a heavy thud, we're landing with a light little ballerina or ninja landing. Exhaling down, inhaling up. I have a boy and I have a girl, so we've got to do equal opportunity analogies as we work. Exhale down, inhale up. Let's do 4 more. Last 3. We're gonna hold the plie down, last 2. 1 more, and then let's hold that plie all the way down. Check your knees are over the foot island and aligned with big toe, second toe. And let's peel that right heel up via the inner thighs spiraling to the sky. Hold here, do a quick check that you're up off the ground about 2 or 3 inches. We can explore this real quick, and let's pop all the way up onto the tippy toes. Do you feel the quad really just taking over and the back side of the leg really checking out? That's not what we want. So when I ask for the foot roll, we're gonna keep that heel about 2 to 3 inches off the floor. Can you feel the back line of that leg kick right back in? All right, let's imprint that right heel back down, peel the left heel up, only about 2 to 3 inches, and then we're gonna imprint it back down to the floor with intention. So go ahead and alternate at your own pace. We're doing the right. The pelvis is completely still. Our height isn't changing. And now Kate and I are gonna do 2 heels at a time without changing the height or tipping forward and imprinting back down. If you'd like additional challenge, the arms can come out wide to the sides and they can stay on the hips. If you wanna try that double heel raise challenge and you want some support for your balance, you can always touch onto a chair or a countertop that might be near you. Hold the next one with 1 or both heels up. If you've got 1 up, let's try both. See if you can manage that. If not, both feet can go down. And now we're gonna butterfly. The inner thighs are gonna spiral back. Inner thighs spiral back. It's a small range of movement, really accessing deep into the glute med. So we are toning and strengthening the tush, and we're also improving the functionality of the hip joints. Can you get a little bit lower to finish it out? Sits bones are broad, balance challenge is sincere. All 10 toes are imprinting into the floor, not just the pinky toes, just because we're going backwards. All right, let's raise the arms up and overhead. We're gonna do 4. Last 3. My favorite one's coming next. Last 2. Hold, and with intention, heels imprint to the floor. Inhale and raise all the way up. This is our WundaBesk. So what we're gonna do is come onto our toes and our hands. Jessie's gonna show you a variation on her knees and her forearms. So we're gonna come onto our toes and our hands, and we're in a plank position. Without lifting your booty way up, we are going to shift our weight back. It is gonna raise a little bit, but we have a great big knee bend and a great big crease at the hips. Long spine, and you're gazing down at the mat. From here, we're gonna keep the left leg and the torso exactly as they are, and reach that right leg up and back at a diagonal. Isn't that fun? All right, now on our inhale, we're gonna keep that right leg where it is, shift the weight forward, and the left leg goes straight. We're basically in a single leg plank. Exhale, bend the left knee, crease at the left hip, and bring it back. Inhale as we bring it forward. Exhale as we crease it back. Beautiful. So you'll notice, keep working guys at your own pace. You'll notice that Kate has really broad collarbones here. She's not crowding around her ears as she shifts back. And the temptation is to really bring that left hip close to your shoulder. That's not what we're after. We want length on all sides. We're gonna do one more and then we're gonna change it up. Go ahead and lengthen out. And then we're gonna hold back with that bent left knee and that long right leg. All right, bring that right leg towards the midline of your body, half an inch to find that inner thigh connection. Yeah, she feels, see those curls shaking? All right, what we're gonna do now is nod the chin, round the spine, the right leg bends and the left leg straightens. What? That's a lot to do, I know. Let's do it again. We're gonna bend the left knee, unwind and go back to start. Now we're gonna nod the chin, round the spine, right knee bends, left knee straightens, and then we unwind. Beautiful. So we're doing a few more just like that, really getting engaged with the core as we round and draw it in, deep flexion, and then reach in a beautiful oppositional diagonal. Exhaling as we round in, one more. Inhaling as we unwind and bring both feet down and both knees down to the floor. Amazing. Let's go into our mermaid leg sweeps on the right. So what we're gonna do is sit on our right hip, right hand is on the mat, and we're gonna swivel that femur head, the thigh bone of the left leg, and sweep it forward without changing the angle of the knee bend. Now we're sitting on two sits bones nice and tall. And then we're gonna unwind and go back to start. Now, but the leg is hovering. And then as you rise up, for additional challenge through the core, you can bring the hands out to the side. And then you're using the waistline to stabilize you as you're working rather than touching down onto the mat. Now that's always an option for you to support the balance as you're doing this work. Every time we're sitting tall, tall, tall in the sits bones, and you can see that Kate's showing us even more cardiovascular challenge by floating the hands up to the sky. So you can have the hands out to the side, taking away the balance support. You can use one hand for balance support or take the arms all the way up and overhead. We're gonna hold this next one back. So now we're in a position where the left knee is hovered, we're on the right hip, and we're simply going to try to deepen the crease behind the left booty. So we call that our glam line. That's where the glutes and the hamstrings meet. And we're opening the front side of the hip and trying to trade that crease from the front side to the back. So we're opening the front side and then we're creasing back. How far can you sit upright without shortening the waistline? I was about to touch the floor with my ear. So try to get upright as we really reach back. Last 4, keep that knee hovering. Last 3, last 2. With control, bring the left knee down and rise all the way up. If you have a red band, let's grab it, and we're gonna go into an assisted roll down. If not, you can simply do it without the band. So we're gonna lay down on our backs, but first we're gonna loop that red band around the arches of our feet. So go ahead and lay all the way down. Arms come long in front of you if you have that red band. And now we're gonna nod the chin, round the spine, lift the head and shoulders up off the mat. Keep the body long as you float all the way up and arms are in a wide V at the top, all tall on your sitting bones. Lean back about 2 to 3 inches. Hold here to find the deep abdominal engagement. Then we're gonna roll down under the tailbone, rolling through the low back, mid back, upper back, and all the way the back of the head touches the floor. Nod the chin again. Lengthening up, rising all the way to the top. Now you can always do this with the support of a partner or of a couch, if that helps you to roll down and up. This red band or maybe a pashmina could be used instead to really help support that movement, but we're looking for a lot of length and control. We want to try not to have a place in that roll down where we slide through really quickly. You want to try to have the same speed all the way down and all the way up, which is no easy task. All the way tall in the sitting bones. Last one, we're gonna lean back, hold it halfway down. So we're gonna round the spine, hold, and now let's come up into a teaser. I'm gonna wrap my band around my hands once here, and then with intention, I'm gonna use my deep abdominals to invite the legs up into a bent knee teaser position. I'm still in flexion, so I have a curve to my spine and the arms are long out at the sides. We're just gonna do an isometric hold here because we can. Think about the femur head sinking deeply And think about how fantastic Kate looks with her legs all the way out. That's a nice idea. I ain't feeling it today, but she is. Melt the shoulder blades down. How long do you think she can hold? I think longer. Last 5. Last 4. Last 3, 2, and with control, Kate, go ahead and bring it all the way down. Fantastic. Keep that red band. Keep that red band, and we're gonna come up onto a single leg kneeling position. So we have our right foot down and the red band is underneath it. And we have our left knee down. Before you get started, level out the pelvis. That right inner thigh spirals to the sky. Loop the band again, just so you don't lose touch of it. And we're gonna go into a 90-degree hold. So my hands are right in front of the shoulders, framing my face and shoulders. Melt the shoulder blades down the spine. Your left shin is heavy in the mat, so go ahead and flip those toes under, Kate, so you're not gonna come up quite yet. And then we're gonna do a little pulse. So we're gonna start just with this pulse. And having our foot flat on the mat really helps us to access the low belly. Can you guys feel that by making that shin heavy? Check in with your right knee, making sure it's over the foot island and aligned with big toe, second toe. We're gonna go last 3. We're gonna change it up. Last 2. Hold here. Swivel the shoulders open into a field goal position. And we're gonna flip the left toes under. If you're up for this balance challenge, Jesse's gonna stay holding on the ground. And now we're gonna do a little carousel horse. So we're gonna go straight up and straight down. So we're really stretching through that left leg. Is that what you're feeling? And we're also burning out through the core and the right leg. Last 4, we're there already. Last 3, last 2, and come all the way up, 2 feet at the top of the mat. Okay, from here, we're gonna keep that red band. Jess, you can grab that dish towel. We're gonna go into a lunge plie repeat. So it looks like this. Feet are 4 inches apart. To start with, they're parallel. And we're gonna lower into a lunge by stepping the right foot back, and both knees will bend as the band comes to chest height or the towel. Then we're gonna inhale, swivel to the side, hands come up and over, and we're gonna lower into a plie just like we started the workout today. Inhale, coming up and over, we're going the other direction. Now the right leg is forward, left leg is back. As we exhale and lower into our lunge here. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, back down through the plie. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, both knees bent. Inhaling through center. Exhaling, sits bones broaden. Inhaling, they narrow. Exhale, lower into that lunge. Plug the arms into the shoulders. Inhale as we come up. Exhale, the core is working with us, not just the legs, guys. Inhale as we raise. Hold this next one here. We are going to peel the left heel off of the floor and imprint it back down. Peel the left heel up and imprint it back down. Last 2. Last 1, hold the heel up. We're gonna raise the hands overhead and bring them back to chest height. That's 3. Last 2, really reach that left femur head back into the hip socket. Hold it up, heel goes down, turn towards the front. Exhale as we lower through that plie. Hold the band at chest height. We're gonna peel the right heel up as we rotate to the left and then come back through center, the right heel lowers. Now we're gonna peel the left heel up and rotate to the right. Feels kind of yummy / awful, right? So we're reaching the opposite rotation as the opposite heel raises. Height doesn't change. Shoulders are not driving, arms are not driving, it's the rib basket driving. Last one. Back to center. Lengthen the legs, arms come up and over. Last time, lunging on the other side. Right leg is forward. Lower into that lunge. Peel the heel up, hold. I like to do it in reverse, keep my mind guessing. Now we're gonna bring the arms up And slowly lower to chest height. Bend the elbows as needed if this feels aggressive, guys. Coming up and down. Last 2. All 10 toes are active. Then we're gonna hold that band at chest height and we're gonna go for those heel peels. So we're gonna imprint that right heel down 4 times. Peel the heel up. That's 3. Peel the heel up. That's 2. Peel the heel up. Last 1. With control, step to the top of the mat. So this time we're gonna take the right knee down and take that band under the arch of the left foot. Once you're there, we're gonna go into our saloon door. So you're gonna loop the red band around, palms face the sky, level out the hips, check that the knee is aligned, big toe, second toe, and then we're gonna swivel open those imaginary saloon doors, and then we're gonna bring the hands right in line with the shoulders. Shoulder blades melt down, and you can think about your upper arms, kind of like your upper inner thighs, how they swivel forward. It's the same thing happening, and the very shallow dome of the shoulder socket is holding steady as we swivel the arms open. Last 2. We're gonna change it up. Last 1, hold the hands open, flip the palms in, and we're gonna carousel horse that other side or hold. So now we're gonna lower and raise straight up and down. Last 4. Last 3, WundaBest next, get excited. Last 2. Last 1. And bring it all the way in. Set that red band aside if you have it. And this time we're gonna take our hands straight down to the mat, step back into that plank, or you can be on your forearms. Step back into that plank, and then we're gonna crease at the hips. It's a little pike, but not a great big one. Deep bend to the knees and to the hips. Collarbones are wide. Lengthen the left leg, up and back. Check in with your hips that they stayed level. And now on that inhale, we're gonna shift forward. On the exhale, bending the knee and reaching the left leg back. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, reaching back. So really keep lots of length in all lines of the body. And you can see that Jessie's showing us a great modification here on her forearms, and that makes it a lot more accessible and a lot less aggressive. I'm even gonna have her show one more modification with the knee all the way down on the floor. Beautiful. And that can make it much less of a balance challenge and give you a lot of stability through that knee. Isn't that nice? Hold the next one back. She's really happy to be on this mat. Hold that next one back. Kate's really jealous. We're gonna nod the chin, round the spine, and the knee draws in. You see that we can do that even if we're all the way down on the floor. Inhale as we unwind back to that start position, aiming for that beautiful diagonal. Nod the chin for me, baby. There you go. Round as you bring it in, arcing from under the lowest ribs. Inhale as we reach for that long diagonal line. Inner thigh is spiraling to the sky, and we're looking at the floor. Exhale as we round. Inhale as we extend. Beautiful job. So good. It's even hard when we're down on our knees, yes? Exhale, bring it in. Yes, ma'am, keep that waistline long. Inhale to extend. And bring both legs down. Beautiful job. And we're gonna take care of that mermaid sweep on the other side. I bet you forgot, I didn't. So we're gonna sit on down on our left hip. The right leg is folded behind us. You can always use that arm for balance support as needed. And we're gonna swivel the femur head through the pelvis as we sit tall on 2 sitting bones, and then we unwind and it rotates back. With as much length as we can manage on both sides of the waistline, it certainly will flex as we're working and moving, but we don't wanna allow it to shorten or crowd. The arms up create an intense core challenge, and the arm down gives you a lot of support for your balance and the effort. We're gonna do one more forward. Reach that right leg back, hold, the knees hovering off the ground, and then we're gonna do a little pulse back from that glam line. You can always give yourself a little balance support. Find lots of length in both sides of the waistline. Try not to let the toes drop. Mine just touched. Mine just touched the ground, so keep the foot in line with the knee. Last 3. We're gonna lay down next. Doesn't that sound amazing? And bring that right knee down. Don't be fooled, it's not. All right, we're gonna lay down on our back, just so you can use your towel or you can use your red band. We're gonna lay down on our back and go into single leg supine circles. Now here's the trick. We're using both legs, but only one leg gets support. So we're gonna lay all the way down. The red band or your towel loops around the arch of your right foot. Straighten the right leg up. You have one stretch of the band in each hand. And then we're gonna send the left leg up too. Now check in with your body. Your legs do not have to be straight. Jesse's gonna demonstrate this with bent knees. And you wanna make sure that you have your pelvis neutral and tailbone heavy into the floor. Your legs might tip a little bit lower, and that's just fine. From here, let's go ahead and take the band just into the right hand, Left arm goes long at your side. And now we are going to circle via the hip socket. So I'm gonna open the legs into a wide V. They're gonna come into a little bit of turnout, keeping the pelvis quiet, the legs lower towards the floor. Oh my stars. And bring it all the way back up to start. And again, we're gonna open via the femur heads tipping, circling around, and bringing it back up to start. Any pressure in the low back? Simply bend the knees or make a smaller range of movement, circling around at your own pace. Length through the spine, all directions. Let's do one more here. Close the upper inner thighs and bring the legs all the way in. All right, set that band close by, but we're gonna release it just for a moment and flip straight over. We're gonna go into a plank. And from here, we're gonna do some alternating, what I like to call toe brushes. So we're gonna come either onto your knees and your forearms or your hands and your toes. We're going to raise each leg alternating, but what we want to do is make sure that we don't just pop the leg up and pop the leg up like this. We want to flip the toes so that the toenails touch the floor, and then we're going to brush the toes as long as we can. You should feel the back line of the leg really fire up, and then it floats off the floor. Bring it back down and flip the toe pads under. Switch, toenails on the left side, reach long, and float the leg up. Bring it back down, and toe pads come over. Keep working. What I want you to notice, Kate's showing us here quite nicely, is that the collarbones are wide. We've got beautiful breadth between her shoulder blades. Can you show me just real quick what it looks like to wing? So we don't want to hang out in the shoulders and find this big gap. That's going to be really not great for the joints, and it also is going to check us out of the core and the postural line of the body. She's also holding the pelvis steady as each leg extends behind her, and that's what we're after. That pelvic stability and holding neutral is what we're after here. This is the last time on the right. Lift away from the floor, whether you're on elbows or hands. Last time on the left, gorgeous work. Both feet or knees are down, and with control, come all the way to the mat. All right, let's get that supine hip circle happening on the other side. Flip it back over. Find your red band or your towel. It goes on the arch of the left foot. Lay down on your back. And we're gonna float just the left leg up first. You can go ahead and hold it with 2 hands just to kind of get yourself organized. And then we're gonna float the right leg up as well. The left hand only now has both pieces of the band or the towel. Right arm is long to help stabilize everything. And this time we're gonna stay parallel as we float the legs open, about as wide as your mat. Circling down. Try not to rock the pelvis, and bring it back up. Again, opening. Try to keep all 10 toes to the sky. That's pretty tricky as we circle around. Are you finding that to be challenging, ladies? Yes. We have 2 more. Circling around via the hips. Last one, so don't think about the legs or the feet moving. Think about really the top of the hips swimming through the dome of the pelvis, and bring it all the way up. Soften both knees and bring it in. Okay, we're gonna flip directly onto our left side. So your left side is on the floor. Left arm is extended, and your head or your ear is gonna rest right on your left biceps. We're gonna take both legs into a 90-90 bend. So it most likely is gonna be a little bit higher than you expect it to be. So you want to have the knees in line with the hip sockets and then stick the booty out a little bit. That's going to help you find that neutral pelvis and long spine. Flex your feet, so we're really reaching the heels away from your left hand. And we're going to float that right leg up to a bend, a 90-degree bend, and it's in line with the outer hip. Hold here. We want to imagine that we found a brick wall under our right foot, but we can't push it away. We don't want to do any pushing. We're just thinking about greeting the resistance of that brick wall, and you can see my legs shaking like crazy. You guys finding that over there? All right. Once you've found that, then you're ready to do the lift. Now we're going to do that lateral raise. Keep it small, you guys. You know why? Because we want to keep it parallel. So we're creasing at the outer hip. And if we make it too big, a couple things happen. We often turn out and come into a rotation, which I'm not asking for in this particular move. Or we're going to drop that top hip back behind us. And we want to keep it as organized and stacked as possible. Now we're just skimming the surface of that brick wall. Are you feeling that, you guys? I like exposed brick, but not necessarily in this instance, yes? Keeping the pelvis quiet, we've got sincere activation through the back line of that right leg. The core is not resting. The ribs are not just collapsed down onto the floor. I like to think about 2 panes of glass front to back, and that helps me to engage the deep abdominals. Long waistline both sides. Last 2, we have knee pulls next in first position. And last one, with control, allow that right leg to come back to start. Come onto your hands and your knees or your hands and your toes. It's up to you. And we're going to be in first position with our feet. We're open with the knees nice and wide. Hands come to the top of the mat and lengthen back into your best plank. From here, we're breathing between the shoulder blades, collarbones are wide. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, crease at the hips as you shift the weight back. The knees open towards the elbows, not the wrists. And then we're gonna lengthen all the way back into your best plank. Inner thighs spiral towards the hands. And inhale as we come in. Now watch what's happening with the hips. We don't wanna come up into a pike like this. What we want to do is slide straight back, almost like your back is a tabletop. And we're not raising it at all as we slide straight back and come back into that plank. Inner thighs spiral forward. Tailbone reaches long from the crown of the head, but not up at a diagonal. That's a tall order, isn't it, you guys? Yeah. Staying low really requires a lot of control through the deep abdominals. Last 3, stay with it. Inhaling to return to that plank. Last 2. We're gonna do that side lying bend next. Last 1. Return to your plank, and with intention, both knees come down. All right, let's flip it over. We're gonna lay on our right side. Your head is on your right biceps. You're gonna bring your knees up into a tabletop position, or like we're seated in a chair. Flex the feet. And we're gonna go up into that hold to find that brick wall. So we have the outer ankle, outer knee, outer hip, all in alignment. Lengthen both sides of the waistline and find that brick wall, but the leg shouldn't have moved. It's an internal sensation that really fires up the back line of the leg. Once you've found that brick wall, then we're gonna do that lift. It's a small lift and we're staying parallel. Hips stay stacked, and then we lower back down to start. Lengthen both sides of the waistline. Check in that left knee didn't creep behind the right knee, and we don't want to tap it all the way down. We want to stop at hip height. That's going to keep it really engaged the entire time. And we're grazing the surface of that brick wall as we slowly open. Last 3. Really flex the feet, make it count. Last 2. We have abdominal arcs and then we stretch next, you guys. Last 1. And with control, bring it all the way down. Okay, if you have a red band, it goes around both feet. Or if you have a towel that's long enough, that's your other option. Or you can do it without either. We're gonna loop it around the arches of our feet. Lay all the way down on your back again. Once you're there, we're going to flip the legs up into a tabletop position. Find your neutral pelvis. I'm gonna give my hands a little loop around that red band. Elbows are down to the floor. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna nod the chin. So we have our knees over our hips and a neutral pelvis. We're gonna nod the chin, peel the head, neck, and shoulders up, and then we're gonna reach the arms into a wide V. Keep the arms out as you lay the upper spine back down to the ground. And then nod the chin, peel it up, keeping length on the front body, and lower it down. It's really important that we're not shortening the front side of the body here. That's where we find connection all the way around to the core. Making sure we're not mashing the low back into the mat. And that band is helping to keep us honest, not allowing the knees to creep forward. Can you feel that? The femurs are really plugging heavily into the pelvis. Kate's showing us a variation where she's extending the legs. So as we peel up, you can choose to extend the legs out at a diagonal. And then as you roll the head down, you can soften the knees and bring them back to start. We're gonna do 4 more. So pick your poison, do whichever variation you like. Exhaling as the head goes down. Inhaling, nodding the chin, peeling up to raise. Try to get the bottom tips of your shoulder blades up off the mat, if you can, for these last 2 when you're all the way up at the top. Ooh, I barely got mine off. How about you? Last one, let's hold it up. Smile it out for 5, 4, tailbone's heavy, 3, 2, and lower the legs all the way down, head, neck, and shoulders as well. We're gonna stay here, and we're gonna take the red band just under the right arch. The left leg is gonna go long, so this is gonna be a really delicious stretch, I promise. Take both pieces of the red band into your right hand. I'm gonna loop it around once, so I have a nice solid hold on that right leg. The pelvis is gonna stay relatively quiet, and what I'm gonna do is just hold it here to the sky. Elbow melts to the floor, just holding and breathing, reaching the heel to the sky, reaching the sitting bone long away from my right shoulder. And now we're gonna float that right leg out to the side. Now it's entirely up to you what kind of range of movement you can achieve. You can send that right leg all the way down as long as you keep that left hip anchored. You can come up at more of an angle. It's entirely up to you and what feels good for your body for that stretch. Bring it across the body. We're gonna change the red band into the left hand. I'm still looping her around. And then we're going to allow that right hip to peel off the floor. I'm gonna do my best to tap Kate on the forehead with my toes. It's always better to work out with a friend, right? Bring it back through center, you guys. All right, we're going to take the left leg now so you can bend the right knee to change sides. The arch of the left foot gets that band. Both stretches of the band go looping around the left hand. We're gonna hold it up to the sky. Just send some breath to any areas of tightness you might feel. And we're gonna open that left leg out to the side. You might notice that one side has a little bit less range of movement than the other does. You might notice it has more, but keep that right hip anchored, right shoulder anchored. Bring it back over the hip. We're gonna take the right hand onto the red band, loop it around, and then we're going to rotate the pelvis as we cross the body. The left shoulder stays down, but the left hip has lifted off the ground. Sweep it back through center. Now both arches go under the red band or the towel, and we're gonna finish with some fascial flossing. So we want to make sure that our tailbone stays heavy, and as we're going to go into our fascial flossing, we don't want to lower the red band in space at all. So I'm giving the knees a micro bend, but not allowing my feet to drop in space. You may or might not be able to see this on your screen, but I'm trembling like crazy. That's because I'm really lubricating the fascia. That's the network of fibers that hold together the bones, tissues, skin, and muscles. So it's really important that we pay attention to our fascia, and we really try to condition and lubricate it by doing exercises like this fascial flossing. The tailbone is heavy. Anyone else shaking, or is it just me? All right. I see 30 little toes shaking. Go ahead and keep that tailbone heavy. Melt the shoulder blades down. Legs go long one last time. Inhale, breath into any areas of tightness. Exhale any tension. Slowly fold the knees, and we're gonna take that red band out from under the legs, roll to your right side, and then we're gonna use our hands to help support our body as we rise back to sitting. That was amazing work, you guys. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.